Hey there guys, and welcome to this week's edition of Listed. I'm your host Champagne Charlie, and today we'll be talking about the top 5 wrestling dream matches that we always wanted but never got. Number 5, Bruno Sammartino and Nature Boy Ric Flair. Both these men were both cornerstones in their respective organizations. Bruno Sammartino for the WWE and Ric Flair for the NWA. Both great world champions at their time. However, they never crossed paths in the ring. And sadly, the reason for this is both men over the years have publicly viewed their disdain for one another, both on a personal level and a professional level. But you can't deny, had these two men got in the ring, it probably would have been a great 60-minute match of the ages. Both men put on wrestling clinics. Bruno Sammartino put on matches against the likes of Buddy Rogers and Stan Hansen and superstar Billy Graham. And Ric Flair, we saw him tangle with Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes and Harley Race. It is such a shame that these two men could not get on, because I think they could have had one hell of a matchup for their age. Number 4, Kurt Angle versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret Hart, during his time in the WWE, was known as the excellence of execution for a reason. He was one of the great technicians in the ring and could really put on a 5-star match. Then you go to Kurt Angle, who around about that time had just won the 1996 Olympics. His freestyle wrestling ability and his ability to out-wrestle those in the ring is second to none. During their primes, it would have been great to have seen them both in the ring. Unfortunately, when we saw Bret Hart's comeback in 2010, his wrestling ability had all but deteriorated badly. So, in a way, I think it's glad that we didn't see that match, but during their heyday, to see them both in the ring, I think it could have been a Match of the Year candidate for sure. Number 3, Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. These two men both scream main event status by, you cannot deny how great these two men were. And apparently this match was going to happen at one point. Apparently discussions were made late 2005 and 2006 for a match between Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin. But apparently an agreement could not be made as to who was going to go over, who would be face, who would be heel, etc., etc. Apparently, the rumour goes that Hulk Hogan refused to put Stone Cold Steve Austin over, and this has been the case during many of his matches, throughout the likes of, shall we say, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, etc., etc. We would have loved to have seen this match. Personally, I would have loved to have seen Hogan get stunned by Austin, but that's for a different time. Would love to have seen this match, but sadly, it never happened. Number 2, Shawn Michaels versus The Rock. Now, both these men were highly significant during the rise of the Attitude Era, Shawn Michaels being the leader of DX, and The Rock being a rising star for the Nation of Domination, and then an old star in his right. So it's quite surprising that we never saw them square off one-on-one in the ring. Now, they had crossed paths before, but mostly when Shawn Michaels was the commissioner of the WWF, so he never wrestled The Rock. Both these men, great icons in wrestling, and also great showmen. I could have seen this being a great WrestleMania match, but sadly it was not to be. What with Shawn Michaels now out on retirement, and The Rock himself being a full-time movie star, I doubt we'll ever get to see it, unless someone pays them a lot of money. And finally, number 1, The Undertaker versus Sting. This was a match that everyone wanted all through the 90s and the early 2000s, but I doubt we will ever see it now. When we heard that Sting was in the WWE in 2014, we thought it would be a great opportunity to finally see this all-time dream match. But it's still surprising that WWE never cashed in on it. And then sadly, it led to Sting being injured during his match with Seth Rollins in 2015, and then The Undertaker's career slowly taking a decline, as you can see throughout those later years, particularly the matches that took place in Saudi Arabia. With Sting now being a part of All Elite Wrestling and The Undertaker now officially retired, I doubt we will ever see the dream match that we always wanted. And that is the top 5 dream matches that we always wanted but never got. Please like, share, subscribe to Talking Crap, and you can see more of our content on our channel very, very soon. Thank you and goodbye.